Cisco ACI exam not happening, and also Cisco DC core exam. So I was supposed to take these two exams this month, February, but I just decided to not take both exams. And the reason why I'm going to explain in this video, but before doing that, I want to kind of explain the reason why I started this path initially. So that's what I'm going to cover in this video. So why I decided to take the Cisco ACI route journey, the strategies that I used to study, and the reason why I decided to quit on taking these exams. Okay, so why did I decide to take the Cisco ACI exam in first place? Well, for context, I've known Cisco ACI like for years, and it is a technology or a product that Cisco has that I didn't have any interest whatsoever on learning or using because it seemed to be like too far away from the projects that I had in the time. And I knew about the technology. I knew, okay, what is Cisco ACI, the fabric, and all that stuff. But I didn't have to like learn in depth about the technology because I wasn't using it, and the projects I had back then, they didn't have anything related with ACI until last year. Now, last year I was invited, I had the opportunity to sit in certain interviews, to have certain interviews, and essentially most of the projects that I had, I wasn't selected because I didn't have enough skills around Cisco ACI, and because of AI hype and this kind of thing, so Cisco ACI suddenly became like a big thing. So a lot of companies, they were looking for professionals who not only had expertise on data center, something that I have, more in the, let's call it, traditional thing like Nexus switches, that kind of thing, not much the SDN or the fabric side, that's where Cisco ACI lives. And so because of that, I lost these opportunities. I decided to start investing more time on learning Cisco ACI, like get my hands really dirty. A big problem on studying or learning Cisco ACI is that you need hardware, or you need resource, and a lot of resources. If you want to deploy like a physical lab, you need a couple of switches, specific switches to act as spines, and also certain type of switches to act as leaves. And then you have to deploy also the APIC, the server. And in order to have this kind of environment, this kind of lab, it's not going to be cheap. You're going to need to make an investment. And even if you get like the hardware and this kind of stuff, you still have the electricity that is going to cost you, like, I don't know, depending where you live, it's going to take some money. And so building my own lab was something that I was evaluating, but I didn't want to make the investment because there wasn't enough opportunities to justify this kind of investment. So the second option, or the other option, would be to rely on a virtual environment. The challenge on finding a virtual environment is that, again, you don't have so many resources available out there. And you have Cisco sandboxes, that was okay. The problem or the limitation is that they use Cisco ACI simulator. And Cisco ACI simulator, although you can play a lot with it, you still only can do the control plane. Like you can enable BGP, you can deploy the fabric, but you can't taste the data plane. Like if you deploy policy. You can apply, for instance, an interface policy on a switch port, but you can't validate whether that policy is enforced or not. So there is a lot of limitations. Now, at the beginning, I thought that I could just use Cisco Sandbox for that, and also using Cisco ACI simulator. But it got to a point that I I needed to test some things, and Cisco ACI simulator and also Cisco Sandbox, they didn't allow me to do or to test those things. And so luckily, last year I had the opportunity to be awarded, I don't know, to get access to Cisco U. And on Cisco U platform, you can actually use like a physical environment. They allow you to discover the fabric, and you get to do a lot of things. They even have like a physical switch that you can use a feature like layer 2 out, layer 3 out. So that was perfect, like to get started, to get my feet wet. And I even did 3 courses on Cisco U because I really was understanding how to work, how to manage a Cisco ACI, even troubleshooting a Cisco ACI infrastructure, and that was great. Unfortunately, after some time, Cisco U removed the access because that was something temporary, like they were testing something, and so my access to the Cisco ACI courses, to that environment, was removed. So I didn't have an environment where I could continue my studies. So that was like a big issue. Now, I thought I could continue using Cisco ACI simulator for some time, but eventually it got to a point that it was just not working, because when you're studying for Cisco ACI, especially if you want to take the exam, there are a lot of things that you really need to validate that you know. It's not, you can't just be in this section where you only have the theory. You can explain like, okay, I know what is a fabric, I know how to deploy, I have the idea that I know how to deploy a route reflector, I know how to apply like an interface policy, these kind of things. But can I really test this in a production environment? You're not 100% sure that you can do that, because Cisco ACI simulator can only allow you to do certain things, and you get to a point that you just hit a ceiling, like, okay, I can't do any more of this, so I can't validate. And last year I was having these issues, like, okay, how do I test this? How do I know if this is really working? How do I know if segmentation is really working? So there was a lot of limitation during my studies. Still, I thought that I could continue just studying, and probably I would get to a point like I feel confident enough to pass the exam. So besides the challenges I was facing to study Cisco ACI, something that happened is that professionally I started to receive more proposals related with network security technologies. So data center or Cisco ACI wasn't a top priority anymore. So I was like evaluating whether it made sense to continue this route on, and it was already hard, instead of just changing the direction and focus on something else, like I don't know, network security, cloud, automation, instead of just looking at Cisco ACI. And eventually I got a project where I was heavily involved in a different data center technology and different products. So something totally unrelated with Cisco ACI. So it got me thinking, I don't know if I should continue this in face of these challenges. Still, I decided to continue studying, but not with the same level of priority as I had before. Another thing that happened is that probably by the end of last year or this year, I'm not sure, I was awarded a Cisco voucher that allowed me to take another Cisco exam. And so this is the reason why I say that I was supposed to take two exams, ACI and DC Core. And I was planning on taking both exams this month, February. And so after diving deeper into the Cisco ACI studies and looking at the requirements to pass the Cisco DC Core exam, it became clear that I wouldn't be ready to take both exams um, in this short period of time. If you've been following me for some time, you know that normally to pass an exam, I take like 90 days, like 3 months studying prior, and sometimes I pass, sometimes I don't. Last year I failed because I didn't apply my own rule. And so this year, beginning this month, when I decided to really invest heavily on my studies, it became clear that I wouldn't pass the exam. Neither of the exams I would be like confident enough to pass or know enough to pass the exam. And I did this assessment like, isn't there another way? Like, isn't something else that I can do? Like, study 6 hours or something? And I just realized that no, I can't. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I just can't. Even if I just pass the exam, I don't have enough resources to practice the things that I learned. Like, even if I got like the OCG book and everything else like in my mind, but if I can't deploy those things, if I can't validate, I don't feel like I know it. So for me, it's like it doesn't matter if I get the certificate and I don't know. For me, it's useless. This is my opinion. I rather know how to manage, how to deploy that technology, that product, and not having a certificate that says that I am a professional specialist on that thing. And instead of having a certificate saying I'm a specialist, and I only say that, yeah, I know what it is, but I can't deploy it. I never deploy this. I'm not that kind of professional, and I don't want to be that kind of professional. So yeah, I decided like I'm not going to be ready to pass the exam. I can take the exam, but I'm 100% sure that I'm not going to pass the exam. Neither of those exams. And so yeah, that's the current situation. So last week or the end of this week, this is when I decided to stop studying at all. Like, still last week, I still was studying, but it's just a waste of time because I already know that I'm not going to pass. So instead, I want to focus my time on something else. But before I share with you what I'm going to do, this something else, there are a couple of things that I'm going to use from this time that I was studying to take the Cisco ACI exam. So one of them is that Cisco ACI simulator is a great tool to get you familiar with Cisco ACI environment. Like, you get to know the interface, how to where to find the options, menus. This is something very useful in case you're planning to really work with Cisco ACI. Like, if you want to get started, Cisco ACI simulator is by far the best option out there, just as much as I know. So that was very, very useful. Another thing is to have the OCG book. This was really helpful because I could use OCG and feed into Notebook LM and kind of make questions, flashcards, mind maps, just using OCG and other resources that I found during my studies, and just put everything out there on Notebook LM and then make questions, write summaries. It was super helpful, and this was the first time that actually I started using Notebook LM to help me during my studies, and it did a lot of difference in comparison to previous exams. I wouldn't say it was unsuccessful, but it helped a lot, like um, finding certain things that instead of going through the book by myself and just making the questions to AI and then getting the feedback with explanation, like instead of using the jargon but in plain English, simple English, uh, it was totally different experience for me. Okay, so what am I going to do next? So there are other technologies that I feel like I have to invest more time, like clouds, AWS, Azure, GCP. There are still out there a lot of projects happening, and I last year I also start investing some time on Azure, but they have some limitations on free subscription. You can't deploy certain things, but this is something that I'll have to figure out this year, because I really believe that cloud is still something like in high demand in certain markets, and this is a skill that I want to brush off, like to really become a specialist on it as well. Same applies to AWS, although I'm an AWS certified, but I haven't invested enough time, like uh, to improve in this area. So another thing that I'm going to also invest a lot is going to be automation and AI. So last year I restarted my studies on Ansible, just building some labs. But this year I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and also uh, start playing more with AI, different MCPs out there, and see how where the market is going and how to learn the skills that the market needs at this moment, because there is a lot of hype right now, and the last thing that I want to do is to learn something that is going to be useful for the next 3 or 6 months. Last but not least will be my favorite one, offensive security, and this year I'll plan to dive deeper into AD attacks. This is something that you're going to see a lot of more content about this here in the channel and also on other my socials. And I believe that this can be like helpful in some way. This is not a detailed plan, but in high level, these are the areas that I'm going to focus like in the next starting this month actually. So yeah, man, this is it. So Cisco ACI, Cisco DC Core exams, not taking them, and yeah. So if you plan to take the Cisco ACI exam, I just want to let you know that take advantage of Cisco ACI simulator. If you have access to Cisco U, like the paid subscription, also take advantage of the Cisco ACI course they have out there. It's very good for you to get started, especially the environment. Take advantage of the environment. You don't have like many options available out there that are as cheap, depending on who's paying your subscription on Cisco U. Okay, so this is it, guys. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any doubts and questions, let me know in the comment section. Okay, take care.